just had an epiphany that I want to share because it has everything to do with the cycle of destruction and Nibiru and Ellen in a way. So the thing is this. Okay, we have the cycle of destructions every 11,500 years. Now, one of the funny things about that is that they say these cycles are, and you can't understand anything I'm saying until you listen to the vid I posted on Robert Felix. Because Robert Felix says these cycles happen every 11,500 years, but they actually, it's 13,000 and not 11,500. It's 13,000, but we experience it on the planet as 11,500 because there's the movement of the galaxy and we're moving in there and all this.
There's a big kind of ice age and a minima one every 11,000 years or so. So which one do you think that we're kind of heading into here? The big one or the smaller one?
Well, the smaller one of 11,500 years ago killed about 40% of the larger animal species went extinct. Volcanic activity went crazy at that time. They have found, in Alaska, for instance, they have found mammoth bones interspersed with up to a meter of volcanic ash. Mm-hmm. So it all ties together. I show mini ice ages, little ice ages, about every 360 years. I show these other, quote, smaller ice ages about every 11,500 years. Then there is a cycle of even larger ice ages that comes about approximately every 105,000 years. And that correlates with something called orbital stretch. Sometimes we're closer to the sun than others. The orbit starts as near a perfect circle, then it stretches out to an ellipse, then it comes back to nearly a perfect circle. That process takes approximately 105,000 years. Or precession itself, where the Earth does its turning on its axis, that itself is about 25,800 years. But because the solar system also rotates, then when we look at precession in relation to the solar system, then it's about 23,000 years. All of these things have to do with totally natural cycles. All of those cycles are now...
the point is this. This 13,000, actually, a number of sources they mention it's not 13, it's 12,800. Now, why is that so interesting? Because what I understand is that the orbit of Nibiru is 4,300 years, basically. And so it's not 3,600, that's bullshit, because the Sumerian reckoning is based on 3s and 6s and 10s. 6 times 10 is 60, and 60 times 60 is 3,600. And that's why they get that number, and people who stick to that, they really haven't looked into it much at all. So it's 4,300. Every 4,300 years, Nibiru has come along twice and is on our side of the sun. When it's on the far side of the sun, it doesn't really affect us at all. But apparently every, let's stick to 12,800 years, there's a big destruction. Why is that so interesting? Because 3 times 4,300 is 12,800. 12,900. You see? That means that every third time Nibiru comes along, there's a major destruction. Exactly. Nibiru comes, actually it's 6 times. It's the third time it comes on our side of the sun. So it comes by every 2,148 years. But times it's on our side of the sun, the other time it's on the other side of the sun. Every third time it's on our side of the sun, it creates massive destruction. But if you see the JPL and the supposedly secret and NASA representation of the orbit of Nibiru, you can see that it's going to be coming by on our side of the sun sometimes, and sometimes the other side of the sun. But even when it's on our side of the sun, sometimes it's going to be very close by the Earth, and sometimes it's going to be further away and not that big of a problem. So suddenly it dawned on me, of course, even when Nibiru is on our side of the sun, that doesn't mean it's going to be coming right near the planet every time. And apparently, it's every third time. Then it comes really nearby. But the really interesting part and why I consider it an epiphany is if you listen to Robert Felix's interview, he says it's this 105,000 year cycle. Yes, it is built up of these 11,500 year cycles, or 26,000 year cycle, which is 2 times 13. But there are also these smaller cycles. It's like sometimes it gets disrupted. And if you can just imagine that you have this orbit of Nibiru and it comes by and it comes by and every third time it's bad, it's not going to be exactly like that, right? It's like the Gregorian calendar. You have like leap years. And apparently every 105,000 years the cycle is complete. But within that cycle, sometimes it's every third year, but then sometimes it happens again, extra. And then again, it's every third year. So that's my epiphany. So this actually explains how Nibiru is the one major cause of all these destructions. And that would mean that 212 is a non-event. That when we pass the galactic equator, I don't know, maybe it causes some extra gamma radiation or something of this nature, but the flipping of the poles then, the magnetic field of the Earth, and the flipping of the poles, and what causes the planet to actually stop rotating and then start rotating in the other direction because it's upside down. Okay, this could all be caused by Nibiru. This suddenly explains everything. If you understand how this Nibiru coming by, it comes by often, but it's not always coming by in the same way. So I just wanted to share this epiphany because I think it's really important. I've been thinking about it a lot, and I was looking at one of my own vids again, and it suddenly dawned on me, of course, this is the answer.